Good evening, ladies, and welcome to another edition of Workshop Wednesdays. Tonight, we are bringing to you the savings team, and the topic is Reclaiming Your Financial Freedom Part 3. This is Part 3 of a three-part series so far, practical steps to reduce debt and save. And so at this time, I'm going to turn over the floor to the savings team.
It's good night now, right? Everyone, thank you for joining us and welcome to the Finance Committee, the 1000 Women Savings Team, 1000 Women Campaign Savings Team. I'm going to introduce Carol, who will be doing the first leg. So Carol, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be back sharing some basic ideas on how to reclaim our financial freedom. I know the last two sessions, the savings team talked about the importance of having a change in mindset, that if we're going to be successful at eliminating debt and enhancing savings, we have to be willing to implement some sustainable changes in our money habits. And so today we want to focus on some of the practical ways in which we can save, especially on a low income, as well as do some debt reduction strategies. So let's begin by looking at a recent study. According to CNN, approximately 25 million American households are currently living paycheck to paycheck. This statistics is very staggering and alarming. So let's talk real. When money's and when you are just trying to survive and you're living, when there's, it seems to be more month at the end of the money, saving any amount can be very overwhelming and daunting. And especially, you know, when you're basically just paying your bills and you're trying to figure out, where do I go from here? And so savings usually end up at the bottom of the priority list. And so how can we save when we're making minimum wage? And how can we reach our financial goal when we have a low income? And so firstly, I need you to know that even if you're earning minimum wage or you have a low income, that you can still save little by little. You have to change your mindset when it comes to savings and look at it like building a mountain where you have to move one pebble at a time. And so it is for savings for many of us, right? And it's not easy, right? It is not easy to break the vicious cycle, spending cycle, you know, where we just spend, and we do impulse shopping. It's not easy to break, but it is doable. And so here are some practical ways to help us as we work on changing our mindset. Dig into your budget to see if there may be, you know, if you're able to free up extra cash. And you can do that by making your own coffee sometimes, prepping your own meal. You don't have to call in Uber Eats all the time because it can get very expensive, right? Get rid of subscriptions that you're no longer using. Do your own hair and nails sometimes. And, you know, I always tell people that they should use coupons and use any other money that's available to them. You know, today I saw a study by the Vanguard Group, which indicated that approximately a third of Americans are leaving money on the table because they're not participating in their company match 401k contribution. And so another way to save is to, you know, look at your paycheck, okay, and see if you can make extra money by either taking on a side gig, you know, taking on additional overtime on your job if it's possible. Go in and ask for that raise. I know that's a very difficult thing for many of us, to go into our boss and say, you know, I need a raise. But I'm telling you, I have done that so many times. Okay, you have to have your ducks in order though. You have to be able to go in, especially during the pandemic, and say to your boss, you know, I have taken on this, you know, additional responsibility, and I want to talk to you about the possibility of me receiving a raise. I have done that probably about 5 times, and I have never been turned away. I mean, it might not have been the amount that I specified that I wanted, but at least my boss was able to see, yes, she did take on additional responsibilities. So do that, okay? Another thing is to start a side hustle by turning your hobbies into cash cows. Work at eliminating debt. And I know that Princess will be presenting to you some strategies on how to do that. Make debt payment less expensive by refinancing at a lower rate if possible. Work on paying, you know, work on a payment plan with your creditors. I know that some people struggle with making that minimum payment, whether it's $100 or $50. And so you need to talk to your creditors and see if they're able to work. And a lot of times they're able to work with you with an amount that is manageable. And I always tell people, do not ignore credit card debt. I've heard of people throwing out their statements. It is not going to go away. It is not going to disappear. It's only going to get worse. And I also tell people to go through your closet. I do that all the time, and sell on eBay, Amazon Marketplace, etc., etc. And one of the things that I also do is that I recycle my own clothes by mix matching. You would be surprised if you have a black pants and you decide to add a red shirt or a yellow shirt and put some and I think Dr. Tika can tell you, put some nice accessories on, change up your makeup, the outfit looks different, right? And you are able to save money on a monthly basis, or if you want to do it, you know, bi-monthly or every 6 months, do a tag sale or a yard sale to get rid of those unused items that are sitting in your home gathering dust. And as they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. There's someone out there that could use some of that stuff that you have piled up, decluttering your space. And please stop the impulse shopping. That's a big one that gets all of us. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I do to help me to curtail that. One of the things that I do is that when I'm browsing the store, right, or I'm browsing online, and I see something that I feel I must have that item, I start asking myself a series of questions. First, I start counting from 1 to 100 forward, then backward, and forward again, backward again. And then I ask a series of questions like, why do I need this item? Can I do without this item right now? Do I have other items in my closet that look similar? Am I using this, buying this stuff, okay, as a crutch because I don't want to deal with my emotions right now? And the list goes on. And I find that every time I do that, it kind of pulls me back so that I'm able to have a better picture of what it is I'm trying to accomplish right now. And I'm telling you, 99.9% of the time, when I start asking those tough questions, that I find that I either click off that online or I put the item back and I move forward. Another practical way is to break down your paycheck. Go over your paycheck, whether you get paid monthly or bi-monthly, and see how much take-home pay you have to work with after taxes, insurance, 401k contribution, etc., etc. Map out a plan and realign your priorities to include debt reduction and saving. And an example is, if you find that it's difficult for you to pay that monthly bill, whether it's $200 a month, right? And it's very difficult for you to come up with that money, break it down to weekly or bi-weekly and automate it so that automatically you're making some kind of payment towards that debt. And I find that for many of us, the small amount is more achievable. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. And note that savings should not be part of your discretionary income. Consistency is key in debt reduction and growing money. And so after this meeting, I want each of us to set a goal for each day, each week, each month, or whatever is going to be more feasible for you. And instead of putting that money, right, make a plan as to how much you want to put away, whether it's $1 a week or $5 a week, whatever. Okay. Instead of putting that money in the bank right away, I want you to make a money jar. And I put a photo of that on the first page, either a money jar or a money envelope, and put the money in the money jar. Do this for a few months and see if at any time you have to dig into that jar. And if yes, you need to evaluate and reevaluate why you had to do so. Okay, it's tough, but we have to make tough choices. Once you're comfortable with saving, move the cash into an interest-bearing account. You know, lately I've heard a lot about the importance of protecting our natural environment, decreasing our carbon footprints, not wasting, you know, our resources, recycling, etc. And I believe that it should be the same with our money. We should strive to be better stewards of our money by not wasting it and squandering it. We work hard for it, right? But we should be saving, investing, and spending wisely. And so here's another practical thing I want each of us to do. Today, commit to put in 4 quarters in your jar every single day. If you can't do it 4, do 3, do 2, do 1. But every day you need to put at least 1 quarter in that jar or that money envelope or whatever is workable for you. Okay. And the key is to be consistent, because you're trying to be consistent in saving. Okay. And remember that debt reduction and savings are only possible with self-discipline and perseverance. And I hope that these practical ideas will help you as you move forward in reclaiming your financial freedom. Now on to Princess. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, it says I'm paused. I have to stop. I did stop. Let's start again.
While we're waiting for that, I just have a quick question for Carol. Carol, I know you're saying that we should save at least $1, but you know, give me a range. What do you think? You know, $1 makes $7 a week. I was going to ask you how much you recommend to save, but I was thinking that you gave tips of saying if you don't spend certain money. Let's say if you get a ride and don't for a
breaking up.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
I'm saying, because you know, you were giving some tips. I was thinking if you get a ride, having to use your Metro card, you know, you can say, okay, I saved $2.75. Let me save that. You know, I was thinking, like you said, if you usually take coffee, so you're saying we should get into the habit of at least saving $1, or at least.
I am just saying that we have to start somewhere, right? So if you decide that, okay, I'm not gonna buy the Starbucks 7 days a week. I'm only gonna buy Starbucks 3 days. Save the amount that you would have spent for the other 3 days. Or if you decide that you're gonna do your nails, you know, a manicure, pedicure is like $40 or more. So you drop that $40 into the money jar. So whatever it is that you're saving, I'm just saying, start with $1. Start with a quarter or 4 quarters a day. It's just to get you into the habit of putting that money away and not touching that money, because that's the hardest thing. If you see that money jar sitting there piled with money, it's kind of hard for you not to touch it, right? But we're talking about developing self-discipline and a change in mindset. I mean, saving should be like you brush your teeth. So in the morning when you go to brush your teeth, put the money jar in your bathroom if you have to. And take that quarter or that dollar or whatever with you and drop it right inside there. You know, as you brush your teeth, you drop your quarter or whatever. And I'm telling you that it works because we have done that within our household. I remember when my sister just came from Jamaica and I gave her that strategy, and she was able to save a lot of money by just dropping, you know, the money into a jar, you know. So it's just to develop the habit of saving.
Yes, those are great tips. How's it going, Princess?
Well, I'm trying, but it keeps telling me to resume, so I'm not sure why it's saying that. It's saying it's pause. And I've closed out of everything and came back. It says my screen sharing is pause.
So I wanted to ask you guys real quick while Princess is getting ready. So I was talking to my son earlier, right? And he was telling me about different strategies that he and his friends use. And these are young people, how they use for compulsory savings. I have never heard of it, but he told me that there is an app called Acorns. Have you guys heard of it?
Yes, I think I've heard of that.
He said it's an app where if you go, you connect it to your bank account, and if you go to the store, say Walgreens, and you buy something for $3.87, what they do is they round it up and then they put the additional funds into an account. And you can tell them whether or not you want to invest in certain stocks, and it also helps you to track your spending. Because he went in and showed me how, you know, it showed a list of stores that he went to, how much he spent, how much he had that they had rounded up to, and then deposited into his account. And then he showed me the total that was in his account. So that's another way to do it. I've never used the app, but he told me that it's pretty easy, and you can actually tell them, you know, whether you want to invest in crypto coins or whatever, you know, so monthly they'll invest for you. So maybe that's something that, you know, you guys want to look at also.
Sounds great. We have on, we just have a comment from Dawn Cotter Jenkins. She said, in the past, I would use the money jar for vacations. It was a treat to use that in a fun way instead of for bills.
That's a good way to do it too. You said in the past, does that mean that you're no longer doing that?
No, that she's on Facebook Live. And
okay.
Here, Norma says yes. Norma says yes, I have Acorn and best for me as well. And Dr. Tika Ann says lots of banks have that with your debit card too. Ask your about it. They round up and put the difference in the savings account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so as the last 2 videos we talked about, we said practice does not just make perfect, but it makes it permanent. So I'm just gonna go over not everything, just few things. The first one we did was about building your rainy day and emergency fund. And the second one we talked about tracking your way to financial freedom. And the objective was that we must be disciplined. And to remember, take your income minus your saving, which you expense, put yourself first. Like Carol just said, you have to pay yourself. Pay yourself. The government take theirs out immediately. Why do you put yourself last? Put yourself first, because they take theirs out immediately. So these are a few questions that we talked about before. Just want to remind you of them again. Why do I need to save? What am I saving for? What's the purpose? Is it beneficial, and for whom? What's the end game? Needs versus wants. This is one area we have a lot of challenge with. It's not always about what you want. It's about what you need. So like Nike would say, just do it. Binge spending is addictive. And with any addiction, you've got to just say no to kick the habit. You can't have everything you want and live within your means. I'm sure we have heard before growing up, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You've got to separate your needs from your wants. How many credit cards do you need? Why? For your needs, ask yourself questions like Carol talked about earlier. Do I need it now or can I wait for a sale? And ladies, a sale is not a sale unless you need it to use it within a week or a month. There's always a sale. When you go to the store and you see something, remember, it's markup when you purchase it the first time. Each time they mark it down. I know this because I used to have to do this. And when it comes to the bottom, what you're paying for is what they purchased it for originally. It's at base price. So what you're paying for is just base price. And if they have overstock or over inventory, they're just trying to get a lot of it out of the way so they have new stuff that's coming in. So it's not really a sale. Or if the bottom line is not meeting their expectation, they'll run a sale so they can boost that and whatever that is for the quarter to make profit comes up. And if you notice, you go back to the store, you'll see something there. That same item was there before. That was on sale. So just wait. It's okay unless you have a wedding or something specific to go to and you know that you need it at that moment, then get it. Because I know 9 times out of 10, you have something in your closet with a sales tag on it that you have not used. Because I'm guilty of that as well. What kind of how much do I need? Do your homework. And can I request it as a gift? That's another option. Just to continue, and one more thing we always say, don't sweat small stuff, but we need to sweat the small stuff. Little things adds up quickly and makes you wonder, where did my money go? Why did I get this? So I give an example here. I don't drink coffee, but that's the big ticket item right now with Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. They seem to be in competition. Everybody's got get their latte or iced coffee or whatever name they have with cinnamon and all these wonderful trendy names. I was shocked when I hear how much they're paying for coffee, like $3 to $7 per week or more. And if you add that up for the monthly cost, that's between $90 to $120 per month. If you purchase lunch for $5 per day, depending where you are, if you're in the city, actually that's $10 per day. But I did not want to put the city because everybody does not live in New York City. So I just made it an average, say $5 a day for a sandwich. That does not include a juice if you choose to get a juice. I didn't put that because you should be drinking water, not juice. And if you add up, that's $100 per month. If you have cable, it's about roughly $70. If you have a mobile telephone, it's about $80. You can also call the mobile company if you're a senior citizen and get that bill lower. If you're over 55 or 55, you can get the 55 plan. They do have that. And different phone company have different things. You just have to ask them, because guess what? If you're a viable customer and you have them on auto pay, they will give it to you because they want to keep you as a valid customer. They like that. So that would be like $55 if you join that club. This may seem harmless, but if you add that up, look at the total you're paying monthly, but look at the total you're paying annually. It adds up. For a week, what I want that Carol just said about putting money in a jar, with the same regard, if for a week you take all the receipts that you purchased, all the documents, and put them together to see where your money is going. Get a place and put them in a shoebox. That's old school, but if you have to just try to do something new now, or just go back to old ways. After COVID, as we can see, a lot of us had to go back to basic things. Get something, an envelope, and put your receipts in. If you want to go and get a manila envelope, get that and put all your receipts in it. And at the end of the week, and don't say you don't have the time to do that. make the time, schedule yourself, put it on the calendar and set it on the calendar. And when it pops up, stop what you're doing and just get to it. Because guess what? You have to put you first. I always use this analogy about the airline. If you can't, they tell you if something happened on the plane and the mask drop, and if you have a child, put your mask on first before you can take care of that child. So you have to take care of you. So save you. So take the time to put this together. Every time you get a receipt, put it at the end of the week, take them out, look at them and say, okay, what did I do this for? What is this for? What is this for? Sometimes you don't even remember. And if you use cash, you definitely don't remember because then it's just cash. So you can also write on the receipt, this is what it was for. Time value of money. The sooner you start to save, thus paying yourself first, the faster your money will accumulate. This is just, granted, this is a little old, saving $1 a day like Carol just talked about. If we started saving from birth to 65, this will be for the younger generation. Or if you have a child that you want to start saving for, you're a grandma, you can start saving for that grandchild right now, $1 a day. That's $31 for, say, $30 roughly per month, right? So that's $206 for the year. And you can put that in a bank. Granted, the interest rate is not as high as that, but it doesn't matter. It's still growing something. So based on this calculation, it's just giving you a rough idea of what compound interest does over a period of time. You just have to you can't look at the number. If you go to the bank, you're saying, oh my gosh, you only pay 0.01. Is 0.01 more than what you have right now? So it does matter. It doesn't matter if you're making a dime at the bank. It's a dime more than what you had prior to that. Just don't take small things for granted. Make wise choice. And also remember that the value of money changes. What values $1 today does not mean that's what it's going to be tomorrow, because $1 fluctuates up and down. So you have to also take that into account. Cash versus credit. Good credit has its benefits. We talked a little bit about that, just good to reiterate, like helping you to get a good interest rate on a home or a car. We've seen many statistics where it shows, granted, the neighborhood and things of that nature, but if you have good credit, because I remember when I got my first car, I didn't have to put any money down. And I told the guy, well, my credit card is come, I had filed my taxes, but I didn't get the money yet. And he said, that's fine. I'll give you the car. Your credit is good. So I got the car without putting down a down payment. And my rate was good. So it's imperative that you keep up with that and check your credit score. You can log on to Transamerica, Expedia, or Experian, and you can get it free. And anything on there, you check it. And if there's a problem, you call them and have them take care of it, or find out whoever it is and clear that up. However, credit can be misused, and credit abuse are driving people to bankruptcy. This idea of going and swiping, and now with the tapping, you just tap and go. And it's so easy, and it's very addicting. You don't even realize it. And when you turn around and the bill comes, you're wondering, how did this add up to $5,000? I didn't do anything, but not realizing you're doing all these little manual things. And to you, it just seems so small. But when you get that bill, it hits. So if possible, use cash. It lets you see where your money is. If you had $100 when you left the house and you spent that $100, there's nothing left to spend. I know when I have to spend my cash and I go to the register and I see what it is, I say, oh, then I'm not going to have any money left. And then I don't feel comfortable giving everything I've got. And then I have nothing left because I don't like to let go of my money. So I'm the queen of returns. So I just said, you know what? It's okay. I can do with that. I don't really need that. And I'll just leave it. And I don't care who's on the line or if they say, well, why did she go up there? It doesn't matter what anybody says. It's what happening to me. And It's my responsibility to take care of me, regardless of what people in the line might say behind you, because you just said, well, I don't want that, take that off, take that off. It's okay, they can wait. Maybe they'll change their mind when they get to the register. Use your credit card for emergencies or for purchases that can be paid in full when the statement arrives, so you can avoid interest and penalties. We talked about that before, and you can also view that in the video that's on YouTube in this part 2. Pay credit card balance in full. Don't pay only the minimum due. Credit card interest rates are outrageously high. If you got high bills, pay them off as soon as possible. I'm going to also talk about a little bit more. So keep it simple. Make sure you understand your money management arrangements. Do your homework. Ask professionals to explain concepts as simple as possible. And please, please, please beware of scam artists and get rich quick schemes, especially now. The pandemic, I'm not sure what's happening. The phones are going crazy calling you, telling you all these things, and there's nothing, they can't do anything for you. And they try to come up with all these little gadgets just to get your money. So be very careful. Take advantage of credit unions and bank programs and benefits offers on the job, like Carol talked about with the 401k. And with the credit union, not everybody has one, but if you do, if you need a loan, it's best to get it from them. I know if you have a huge credit card bill, let's say $10,000 or say 5, and you're paying 23% on that, 23 to 25%. I would suggest you go to your credit union, and if you can get a loan, take that money and pay off that card, because your credit union loan could be between 5 to 6%. It's better to pay the credit union than it is to have to pay off the card. Because if you paid that way, you're saving 23 to 25% over 4 to 6%. Even if it's 8% at the credit union, you're still 10 below. So that's also another way that you can save. Enough is enough. It's time for a challenge. It's not so much how much money you have, but what you do with the money you have that matters. Many have raised families on what would be considered small salaries. When you plan for your financial future, you'll find that enough is enough. On the other hand, don't be complacent. Prepare yourself to compete for promotions and pay increase in the workplace. Carol just gave you a good example of that and how one strategy to work, how to get that done. I haven't developed that yet, but she seemed to have got a knack for it. Maybe you can get her to tell you how she does it. Priorities lead to prosperity. Got all you need? Plan purposefully. Look ahead now. If you don't have plans and priorities documented for the future, they may never come to fruition. It's been said, when you write things down, you remember it. People, you write things in, you go to the bathroom, write it, put it on the wall, put it in the refrigerator, put it up somewhere. So you say, these are my priorities, and you tick them off as you go along. And sometimes it changes depending on what happened. It could be an emergency. Then you just make the change in that priority and you get back to the norm. Develop a budget that includes your current and future needs and plan. We talked about budget in the first set of video, which you can also view again on the YouTube channel, our SestraNow YouTube channel. Prioritize your financial goals based on where you are in your career and what you'll need at various points in your future. Consider parents' college fund, retirement, wedding fund, if you're going to get married, or if you're a grandparent or a parent of a child who's going to get married. Traditionally, I know customers, we really don't plan to help when people are getting married. Where other cultures, I know, what they do, they already have something in place. So when that child is going to get married, my friend, she's from the Philippines, and when she was getting married, her wedding was sponsored by different people. She didn't pay for that wedding. It was sponsored. And they paid for that and they gifted her. So when she started, that she had a home. She just had to pay the mortgage. So she started off on a good footing. She didn't have to start off worrying about the dress, how am I going to pay for this? But if we put things in place, our children doesn't have to go through that, what we went through. Vacation, plan for it. Have a vacation fund set up. You can $10 a week, $5 a week, and put it, vacation fund. So when it's time for vacation, you can book that ticket 3 months in advance because you should know where you're going. And then you have money for that vacation. It's paid for. You don't need to go away, coming back with a huge credit card bill. Now you're stressed because you have this credit card bill to pay. So with the vacation you took kind of just got blurred because now you're concerned about paying the bill. If you're getting a new home or a vehicle, etc., you have something saved for it. And please don't forget the emergency fund. You want to have 3 to 6 times the monthly salary available in case of emergency. This probably is going to change now because of the pandemic we just had. We may need to have at least 12 months worth of emergency fund based on what just happened. And it's still happening. Because guess what? If there's something like happen again, we can't rely on the government to give us anything because what they're going to give you cannot take care of your bills, cannot take care of you and your family if there's an emergency, if something happened. So we have to be prepared. In the debt reduction, Allison talked about this, and oops, I'm sorry, I should not have clicked that. And she just went through different parts of what each mean. The windfall, the snowball, or the avalanche. The windfall talks about money you have. You can use it a meal to pay off 2 accounts. This is for your credit cards. This will free up money for those monthly bills. And what I say to that, if you know that you're not disciplined with money, refrain from using this method. Paying off credit cards can have an adverse effect and may cause the user to use the card and not replenish it. What I mean by that is you pay this off and you're happy about it. So now, because I've seen people do this, oh, my card is empty now. I can go shopping. I don't owe anything. Not thinking, but when you purchase again, you're going to owe again. So now you're right back where you started. So if you know that you're not disciplined enough to do that, pay off those cards and cut them up. Do you need it? And you only need one. Save that one and call them and have them lower the balance of that card to save yourself, to help you discipline yourself because you know you have a problem. And it's okay to say, I have a problem. Because if you don't say you have a problem, you can't help yourself. The snowball effect. This is paying off the smallest balance to the largest using your budget worksheet. It says once you've completed your budget, see how much money you have left for discretionary spending. Then apply some of that extra money towards the account with the smallest balance on top of the account monthly minimum. This method can be used with the worksheet. When applying the extra to the debt, also include an amount to the savings as that a debt you're paying to yourself. Remember, you're paying to yourself. So look at it as you're paying a debt to you. The avalanche, this strategy is simple compare interest rate of all your accounts and pay extra on the one with the highest rate. When that one's paid off, move on to the balance with the next highest rate. Paying off higher cards or transferring to lower interest cards is also very beneficial. So if you have more than one card, sometimes they'll send you things, zero balancing for 12 months, 18 months, and they charge you maybe a minimum of 3% per the card. You work it out to see if it's worth it. And if it is, then you do that. But make sure, remember, it's not just there for you to wait until the time is up to start paying. During that time, you're going to pay that card down to make sure you paid off. So by the time that time comes around, you owe nothing. So just calculate how much it is per month that you can pay and just pay that down. It's blocking my screen. The objective is to have financial freedom. It's not just about money you have, but how much you can keep. To have financial freedom, you must be financially literate. So read. One of the reasons people with money get rich or achieve financial freedom and others don't, it's because The subject of money is taught at home. Let's teach this generation so they can stand on our shoulders and not having to scrape from the bottom of the barrel. This will help in reversing the crab in the barrel mentality. And these are 5 rules. Identifying your goals, record your expenses, record earnings, calculate, and fix your weak spots. We all have these weak spots. Just know what they are and address them immediately. So now I'm going to do a little exercise, and I'm going to share this in the chat. You can click on the link.
I also shared it in the chat, the Facebook chat, for those who are watching on Facebook Live. The link is in the Facebook chat.
I hope this works. Can you see that? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. This is a very basic sheet. And everyone can do this. All you need to do is you go in and you put in, this is your monthly pay. If you have a partner, then you put in what they're making. If you get child support, then you put what that is. And you notice that it tallies up, that's your monthly. And what you do, you just go through and you put in whatever it is, you know, and you notice it calculated at the bottom. This area here, your clothing and shoes, that's compulsory. Eating out and delivery, we're gonna work on not doing that. We're only gonna fill in the things that we know that we really, really need. And this is a monthly chart. As you can see, it tells you what the difference is. If you're single and you don't have that, and you don't have this, and you're only making that, and where's the rent? Because we all have rent or mortgage. You see that negative balance? That just means that you have to go back and make a change. You have to revise something. Or you try to get a second income. Substitute for that. This, you can actually print the sheet, or you can go to the website. You can copy it and text it to yourself if you're using your phone to watch. And you can copy it and just text it to yourself, or it'll be on the Facebook page there. You can also go back and get it. Okay? So this is a very easy step to follow. Okay, so the next one. I'm looking at the time. I'm just gonna put the second one, you could just put it on the page so they can read it, because we have to learn to educate ourselves. It's very important to educate yourself. So this is the second worksheet. And when you open, it's gonna tell you, just click open and close for all of them. It doesn't really matter. Because I'm gonna share my screen to show you what it looks like.
Yeah, I shared this second link on the group.
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay, let me know if you can see this.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay, so now you notice here, on each tab, it says basic, college fund, parent, homeowners, seniors. There's a page for everyone. So no one can say, oh, I don't know how. And you don't need to you don't need to know Excel. All you need to do, what is their salary after tax? Okay, if you have additional income, it calculated for you. What's your rent? Do you have renter's insurance? Do you have auto insurance? And auto insurance, remember, because we're not traveling as much as we used to. Call your insurance company and let them know, I'm working from home. My car is only for leisure. They will lower that. Also, if you're comfortable with doing auto pay, because I just learned this, if you have auto pay, you also get a discount. So that's another thing you can also think about. And all of C calculated $12.75. This here, we're going to work on not doing that at all to start. In order to get started, we have to work at this. So until we get out of the hole, we need to not do this. Alcohol, no. Movies, this maybe, yes, we need to do this because we need to keep our health. Cable, these are all the other things that you need. Once you get to that phase, then you can do that. Emergency fund we need, savings we need. What I did here is, and if you notice, it calculates everything at the bottom for you. Okay. So now what I did on this one here.
You're not sharing. I don't know if you think we're sharing.
Not being shared? You can't see it?
I'm not seeing it either.
I thought you were seeing it. All right, let me see what, because it's saying that it is. How about now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So what's the last part that you saw? So as you can see, this is the salary. That's the total. It calculated already. This is the expenses. I only put a few things in. Phone bill, say 50, internet 70. And you saw the total change. Okay, we're not doing the jewelry thing. Like I said earlier, this section here. We're doing an emergency fund, savings. And for the credit cards, what I did here was, this is the total amount that's due. Okay, so say you have 1,200 on this, 15 on this, 2,000 on this, 4,500 on this, and 1,000 on this. You notice it says balance owing to the right. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, now you're gonna make a payment. Each time you make a payment, it subtract and tell you how much you have left. Shit, something happened.
Okay.
Okay, so you make a payment here. You can see, so at least it's good for your psyche to know that you're doing something. When you don't see that you're making a change, you get flustered. So it's good to know that while I'm doing this, I can see that, okay, I'm doing good because I'm paying something. And then this is 0. So each time that you go in, it changes. So it's good to trick your mind to make you feel like you're doing something, because when you don't, at times you feel like, I just keep doing this and nothing is happening. Okay. So I'll stop sharing that. So now, with all that being said, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. We talked about this before. And we just need to remember these things and learn them. Learn self-control. Control your financial freedom. Know where your money goes. Start the emergency fund. Start saving for retirement. Get a grip on taxes. Guard your health and protect your wealth, because they go hand in hand. And these are 8 personal financial softwares you can use. They tell you which one is the best for whichever you're trying to do, or budgeting. These 2, I think, are the most important ones to start with. And you can, if you look in YouTube, has everything. Go on YouTube and look up any one of these things, and it'll tell you how to use it. They're very simple and very basic. So the objective is we need financial breakthrough, and we have to begin now to get financial literacy and empower ourselves. Having a college fund if applicable, having long-term care, especially when COVID, a lot of people did not have long-term care. And it's key to have that and put something in place for retirement. Do your research, protect your legacy, and budget your way to freedom. Thank you. Hopefully this will be something that you can use.
That was wonderful. I just want to quickly run through some of the comments. Or if anybody has, I mean, we don't really have time for questions, but one thing that I thought was cute. Someone said, where was it? It says, it seems like at this rate, will there be any pleasures in life? I'm not being facetious. I'm vigilant. That was a cute comment, and I don't know. I mean, but it's true. It seems it could seem daunting. It's like, oh, just raise up your hands and give up. You know. So, any words to that person? There are lots of wonderful. Let me see. There are people who are saying they've used Acorn.
Yes.
That it really works well. It seems like there are a lot of women who are financially literate in SestraNow. So I'm just going to encourage our members to really, go on our marketplace so you can get some help, you can get some direction, see the women who are doing these things. And, it's good when you hang around with people, birds of a feather flock together. So this is our little here. So I'm learning something that's going to change my life. So I hope that it will also, I hope that you take advantage of the things that membership has to offer. We offer these to meet. Sometimes attendance is scanty. We do know that a lot of people do watch the recordings, but really, this is invaluable information. Our members are volunteering this and are volunteering their time and their expertise. But also I encourage you to take the next step. Hook up with someone who does this professionally, because sometimes you may think, I don't have money to help somebody to organize my money, but in the long run, that's going to save you money. So I'm imagining you can save the money that you to pay the expert, and in addition, additionally be able to save money for yourself. So you cannot think about it. Last week's with Dawn, when they were just talking about, when you're doing a business or anything, you have to take the time to invest in people, seek out people who are professionals who can help you do this, because it can help you to make more money or to save more money.
I think Norma had a question we can answer. She said she has a loan. She has a few questions. Let me see which one I can answer. That she's paying off. When I make extra payment, they ask, do you want payment to be applied to next month, automatic payment? Usually I say no, but sometimes yes. If it does that mean it reduces interest? No, it doesn't reduce interest. Pay it now. Always pay it now. When they're telling you that, because then it keeps it longer for them. So there's going to grow interest for them. Of course, they're going to tell you, put it to the next month. Pay it now. You don't delay any payment. If you have it, just do it. And
for instance, what I normally do if I have additional money that I want to put towards a credit card, and it's more than the minimum, you're paying more than the minimum balance or any loan, you can actually tell them, and even with a mortgage, right? You could tell them to put the extra money.
Put it to the principal. Right. That was the other question she asked.
Yes.
And the last one, she said, for those who sell stuff they no longer need, where do you sell and have the least amount of fees? Okay, especially, okay. I can I'll share that with you offline, because one of the girls I know, she does this, she tells me to do it, but I don't want to. And she knows how to do it, and you can go in and set up, because I have an eBay account and you can set it up. Even on Facebook Facebook has it.
Amazon.
eBay has it. Amazon. There's another one, actually, it's an app. You take a picture and you just do it. And it doesn't cost you anything because you're paying for the shipping. They pay for the shipping.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay, ladies, once again, this was an amazing workshop. Thank you so much to our 1,000 Women Campaign Savings Team. This is great information. I just want to remind you or to invite you to next week's workshop, which is going to be the 3 Pillars of Sustainable Workshop. We have Jyoti, Fit for Life with Jyoti, she's a specialist in nutrition, specialized in nutrition and fitness. And actually next week, we're going to begin at 7:30 because of a scheduling conflict. So I'm going to let you know, it's not the regular 7 o'clock, it's 7:30. And we're in the middle of a challenge, a 6 weeks challenge.
Mhm.
We're wrapping up our 93 to 5K. There's a lot of things that are happening. We're participating, we're having fun. We encourage you to join in. And as always, we encourage you to be financially and physically fit. We want a holistic approach. And as we want to grow together as we go. And so please join in our initiatives. We've seen positive results in our personal lives, and it's just always a joy to do it together. So thank you, ladies. Thank you for all who attended. Thank you for your input, and see you next week. Good night.
Okay, good night.